Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief for May the 7th. The current time is 8:05. In fact, it's Thursday, May the 6th. I apologise for that. Okay, things in Greece still don't look that good, obviously with a lot of those riots last night. That caused a little bit of spin or a bit of firmness towards the US dollar as people went for that risk aversion trade, which is so important, I guess, these days. US dollar continues to strengthen. Equity markets also have a little bit of a shake-up as well. Gold was up a little bit, but apart from that, I think most of the focus happens to be with what's happening in Greece and the threat of that contagion spreading through to Portugal, Spain and Italy, which across the board obviously will be quite a concern. Germany also committed more funds to it, so I think there is a general sentiment that it has to be stopped. And as a result of that, we should get some stability. But that didn't give to the markets last night because most of the markets were under pressure. Let's have a quick look at what did occur last night. And as you can see, the Dow closed down 60 points at 10,866. The S&P was down 7.73. The Nasdaq was down 21.9. Not as bad as yesterday, but still certainly under pressure. Europe was the same, relatively weak across the board there. The Stoic was down 28, the FTSE was down 69, the DAX was down 48, and the CAC was down 53. Still a concern there. Let's hope we get a little bit of consensus back into Greece. Obviously there's been a tragedy over there, and that people can get on focus on the main concerns there. Okay, so really how did that affect the general market? Obviously equities were under pressure. The local market, local SPY, that was also under pressure as well, down close to 1%. And we'll just get that there. That closed on Psychon at 46.36. That's down 54 points and still quite negative. As you can see, I've got the chart of the euro up, and that's quite a massive trade, down 128.16. And as you can see, they're still quite a bit under pressure there. And coming back to these areas, which is not seen for some time, and that's a historic low there. So this is quite unprecedented, quite an interesting trend there with the strength of the US dollar against the euro. It's interesting to look at some of the other currencies, particularly say the Aussie. You can see the Aussie is still under pressure, but coming from those highs, and obviously coming back to that psychological support level at 90. Don't see too much of a trade on there at the moment. I think this is the trend, although I do see good support at that psychological 90 level, and the chances are whether or not we see it trade upwards and then down. One of the concerns I have is this type of price action is indicative of a top, okay? And if that is a top, then the chances of a correction, see it back to US 80 cents. That's just using just gentle Fibos, central Fibonacci retracement numbers, are pretty much close to it anyway. So that we can keep having in the back of our mind. If you are an importer, probably suggest that it's worthwhile taking some cover at these levels, just to be long some US dollars across the board. Okay, so that's the euro, that's the Aussie. Just have a quick look. Looking at the dollar index, and you can see the dollar index here does look as if it's had a sterling rally. Excuse the pun, but certainly a very good rally there. If you remember, we did actually signal there was a low there for the US dollar quite a few months ago. As to whether or not we've still got that trade on, obviously we don't, but certainly the turning points have been picked quite well. But anyway, that continues there. I'm trying to work out what's the length and breadth of this move. That's 2007, 2010. Last 2 weeks we're putting on quite a lot here. Whether or not it's got that ability to trade, straight through to that US 88, 84 level is yet to be decided. I'll just try and see if I can get a longer term chart. No, it just doesn't seem to be coming up. No. I think that's all we've got at the moment. Okay, but anyway, just see if you can get a little bit longer time chart. Then that'll probably be a little bit better. Let's just, no, something's gone a bit spewy here, but that's okay. So that's the dollar index looking a little bit better bid. Let's have a look at sort of some of the other ones. Some of our primary imports, copper. Copper in itself are still under pressure. A lot of people are expecting that to continue to trade lower. We certainly do have Certainly do see it sort of trading lower. We might have found a bit of a low when it sort of traded to that 300. But at the moment, I think we're still going sideways. Let's see what happens there. Crude had quite a major fall. It continued its tradition of just coming under pressure. Let's see if we can get that chart a bit bad. No, we can't. Just trying to get that chart a little bit better. Anyway, there's a chart there. Very volatile with those numbers last night, but as you can see, still under pressure. And breaking through that 81.50 was a level we mentioned yesterday on Bloomberg. And obviously that's proceeded with quite a dramatic fall. Primary inputs obviously under pressure due to the flow-on effects from any form of contagion starting to develop. So in a nutshell, I guess primary markets are under pressure. That should also pressure the local market a little bit more. And as you can see, 46.36 is where we are. And it looks like it might continue just to bum around down the bottom. And I don't see too much aggressiveness to it to the top side. One of the concerns of most people are seeing this as a massive buy opportunity. I am not that sure about that. I would see a little bit more adopt a cautious stance until we get some clear signals. Having a look at gold at 11.76 at the moment. As you can see, quite an amazing fall down to that 11.60 level, and then quite rally. So she's rallied back, I think, more on the concern that things could develop, more of that political concern, and that's why we're seeing gold rally in light of what's happened with the US dollar. This does look like a bit of a neat correction too, but the important thing is we've got a high at 11.92 odd. We've got a low at 11.55 odd, so the market can go sideways now, and you can buy dips back to that 11.65 or 11.70, I think. Okay, I think we've covered most of it. Let's have a look at the economic calendar. Trade balance today in Australia, retail sales, etc. They're going to be quite important. Non-farm productivity, unit labour costs are all on. All these things, and we've got Fed sort of speaking a lot tonight, obviously about what's happening in the economy. I think one of the big things is we're going to line up for tomorrow night's unemployment. That, to me, will be the big key as to how the economy and how this recovery is actually occurring. So quite interesting from that perspective. Quite interesting on that perspective. Really got to see what happens and how it unfolds. I think in my mind, one of the key trades we've got on the moment is actually just a short copper, believe it or not. I think the volatility makes it very hard to trade, and I tend to steer clear of it. Until we get some sense back into the market. You can just see by the volatility in that oil how hard it is to actually trade, particularly trade normal amounts. If you are trading, try and reduce your position size by about half, if not 75%, if you are using stops in the market. But that's about it from me. I hope you have a great day. Happy trading, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.